Calling to order the Cuyahoga County Council organizational meeting for Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019 by the Clerk of Council, which is in accordance with Council Rule 2B. I will now call the roll for attendance. Ms. Baker? Here. Mr. Miller? Here. Mr. Tuma?
Here.
Mr. Gallagher?
Here.
Mr. Schron?
Here.
Ms. Conwell? Here. Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Brown? Here. Ms. Stevens? Present. Ms. Simon? And Council President Brady.
Here.
There is a quorum. We will now conduct the election of council officers in accordance with Rule 2C of the County Council Rules. The process for election of the president and vice president shall be as follows. The president and vice president shall be elected at the organizational meeting as follows. 1. Any member may nominate themselves or another member, and a second shall not be required. 2. After all nominations for president have been made, the clerk shall call the roll, and each member shall vote for one candidate. 3. A member must receive at least 6 votes for election. If no member receives 6 votes and one candidate receives the fewest number of votes, the candidate receiving the fewest number of votes shall be eliminated and the voting process shall be repeated. If 2 or more candidates are tied for the least number of votes, then no candidates shall be eliminated and the voting process shall be repeated. If no candidate receives 6 votes for the second round, the process described above shall be repeated until a candidate is elected. After the election of the president, the vice president shall be elected in the same manner. Is there a nomination for president of council?
Madam Clerk, I'd like to nominate Council President Dan Brady. I do have a few words to say. Over the past 2 years, while serving on County Council, I've had the opportunity to work with Council President Brady on a number of important issues. Time and time again, Council President has shown his ability to lead in both good and adverse times. He has been a strong leader with an innate ability to move the agenda along when required. He has a respect for the office he holds and understands the separation of powers. He's passionate about serving his constituents. He has a reverence for past procedure, but is open to change and an advocate for good public policy. And finally, Council President Brady is a man of honesty and integrity, and we really need that. So with that, I would nominate Council President Dan Brady for president.
And it is my honor to second the nomination.
Are there any further nominations? All right, at this time, I must conduct a roll call vote, even though there's only one candidate who has been nominated. Ms. Baker?
Yes.
Please indicate officially, I guess, the name of your candidate.
Yes, my vote for President Dan Brady.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Dan Brady.
Mr. Tuma?
Dan Brady.
Mr. Gallagher?
Dan Brady.
Mr. Schron?
Dan Brady.
Ms. Conwell?
Dan Brady.
Mr. Jones?
Dan Brady.
Ms. Brown?
Dan Brady.
Ms. Stevens?
Dan Brady.
Ms. Simon?
Happy to say Dan Brady.
And Council President Brady?
Dan Brady.
After a roll call vote, it is unanimous that the council president for this term is Dan Brady. All right, moving on to the vice president of council. Is there a nomination for vice president of council?
Madam Clerk.
I would like the honor of nominating Councilman Purnell Jones as Vice President of County Council. So I wanted to say a few words, if I could, that Councilman Jones and I came in together, as did my other colleagues. We came in the inaugural new county council, how many years ago now? It was 2011, January 1st. And I can tell you that Councilman Jones just displays what it takes to be a leader, to be a colleague and to be curious about the issues that come before him, and is always considerate about everybody's point of view. And I really appreciate that, and have faith in you executing the job as vice president, and look forward to working with you if you get so elected.
Thank you, Sonny.
Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, I will now conduct the roll call vote. Ms. Baker?
My vote for Vice President. My vote for Vice President is Purnell Jones.
Mr. Miller?
Purnell Jones.
Mr. Tuma?
Purnell Jones.
Mr. Gallagher?
Purnell Jones Jr.
Mr. Schron?
He is on the ballot. Yes.
Ms. Conwell? Mr. Jones?
Purnell Jones Jr.
Ms. Brown?
Purnell Jones Jr.
Ms. Stevens?
Junior.
Ms. Simon?
Al Jones Jr.
Council President Brady?
Purnell Jones Jr.
It is unanimous that the Vice President of Council for this term is Purnell Jones Jr. With that, ceremonially, I'd like to turn the gavel over to our Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First, I wanted to thank Jasmine Torres Lugo. She's still here. She had to go, for doing me the honor. I appreciate that, so we'll let her know later. Of course, Happy New Year to everybody. And thank you, my colleagues, for supporting me to continue as council president. My remarks will be short this year. I'm proud of all the members of this council and everybody who's served on this council over the last 8 years. We all, a lot of us started out together, and we've been here quite a while. We've seen good days, we've seen a few bad days. But I'm very proud of the work that we've done, and I'm very proud of all of you, and so thank you again for your support. I also want to thank the staff, all of the staff. They're so well motivated and so clearly competent, and we could not do our jobs without them. I want to give a special shout out today to Joe Nanny and to Gene Schmalzer, who have been here with us since before the beginning and have given us great advice and kept us on track and really helped us build this organization, this institution. And so I just want to thank them very much for their advice and time, and we'll need them just as much in the future as we have in the past. I guess fact is that last year was a challenging one for county government, and this year looks to be even more so. We can't really sugarcoat that. But we were elected to carry out the responsibilities of the legislative body of the largest county in Ohio, and this is what we will do, no matter how difficult the circumstances. I know the council is up to this task. Again, thank you for your service, and I look forward to working with you in the new year and for the good of this community. Thank you very much. Considerations of a resolution of council for first reading adoption under suspension of rules.
Resolution,
Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was misspoken.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
And I second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2019-0001, a resolution establishing the 2019-2020 schedules of county council meetings and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. We need to amend this resolution. We just determined this morning there were some changes on the dates of the meetings that needed to take place. Of course, we have the authority to do this at any time, but noticed them today, so we're going to put these on the board. I would like to move that we amend the resolution R 2019-0001 to change the dates for the meetings from 8/13/2019 to 8/6/2019. It's because there were 5 Tuesdays in July, and time just works out better this way. And also Section 2, with the changing of the dates of 9/8/2020 to 9/15/2020, and 9/22/2020 to 9/29/2020. We'll get all that out to you, and if there's any feedback, we're glad to hear it. Could I have a motion? I've got a
So
motion
moved.
to amend the resolution. Moved and seconded. All those in favor of amending this resolution on its merits, vote aye.
Aye.
And all those say no. Those ayes have it. And the legislation is adopted. The resolution is adopted. Any miscellaneous business that any member would like to bring before the council?
Yes.
Councilman?
Mr. President and my colleagues, I'm going to be very brief so as not to rain on the ceremonial, but I just have to express deep concern about the 8th person that passed away at the county jail, particularly because, number one, we had forewarning about this because there was a prior suicide attempt. And secondly, this person had a history of mental illness and is the kind of person that we should try to divert from the jail facilities in the first place. And so we just really need to give a lot of attention this year to fixing this terrible situation. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right.
President,
Yes.
I would like to just acknowledge, at the beginning of this year, 3 individuals lost their lives, and it appears one of those young men that was killed was one of our students of promise from Maple Heights High School, one of our Closing the Achievement Gap young men. So I'm still waiting to get the name of the young man. I was just notified, and I may get a text to give us his name. But a young man whose life we positively impacted, but he was just, it appears, in the wrong place at the wrong time at this party when he lost his life. And again, his name was Deontay. Don't have his last name, but they just sent me. Young man's name is Deontay. So we just want to keep his family in prayer through this time.
Thank you. Well, these are very challenging times, and I believe that working together, that we're up to the task, and we're going to have to be. So if we have to step up our game, then that's what we'll do. So thank you, and if there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.